Thanks for joining me again. In this video, I want to summarize things you will need to have to apply for a temporary resident permit, especially at a Canadian border. What the officer looks at when you try to make an application at the port of entry are the following things. They look at, your seriousness of the offense. They look at consequences of that particular offense. Sometimes, and when you've committed an offense, the judge may have ordered you to restrict your travels to any country. So they look at the consequences of that offense. Were there any victims involved to this particular offense? So usually when there's an actual victim, that causes that offense to be a little bit more serious than if there were no victims in the offense. Also, Canada really looks at were there drugs and alcohol involved. Canada, unlike the US, takes DUIs and drug offenses more seriously. So a lot of clients from the States contact us and they say, well, when I was convicted of the offense, the judge that convicted me said that if I served a probation or paid a fine, this would not show on my record. And a lot of states deal with drug and DUI offenses like that. However, Canada doesn't. We look at the offense, and majority of these offenses would be considered a hybrid offense. And so it could go a misdemeanor or it could go felony. It could go either way. That's what hybrid really means. So if there's any drug or alcohol involved in that offense, usually it is equated to a more severe offense. Also, what's important that the officer looks at, so the presentation you make at the border or even at the consulate, how long ago did this offense occur and what have you learned or accomplished since that event? So documentation pertaining to how long ago the offense happened and how you have improved your life since that offense. Definitely you want to include those documents to show that to the officer. And other things that will be considered in relation to this, so not only just the offense of when, how, where the offense happened, as well as what you had to serve and so forth, there are other things that the officer takes into considerations, which are, is this your first time visit to Canada? What's the purpose of your visit to Canada? How long will you be visiting Canada? Who will you be visiting Canada? And usually in this section, I always state to my clients, if we can demonstrate that your intent is to come for a business, that increases your chances versus leisure. Not to say that if your visit is for leisure, your application is going to be denied, but business, the officer looks at that a little bit more in detail and tries to accommodate your travel date. So if this applies to you in regards to an inadmissibility that happened some time ago and you would like to get access to Canada, the document we need to apply for is a TRP, a temporary resident permit, and there's many factors involved that the officer needs to consider. So give us a call, let us assess your situation, and we'll let you know what documents you need to have a successful application. Thank you, and until next time.